I'm at 3351 Hewitt Crescent Street in Cincinnati, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Now the access is this main stack in the center rear of the basement. And it is PVC above ground to a cast iron hub here at the floor. Based off the age of the home, I would expect it to probably be clay at the base, but it may be cast iron. So it does turn as cast iron and then go into clay pretty much immediately past the base of the stack. Clay is a pretty good material. It doesn't really have any life expectancy as long as the ground doesn't move. The most common thing we see in clay is root intrusion. Cases on stuff this age, basically the sections between, there's little 3-foot sections of pipe, so there's a lot of seams. So the packing in those areas can break down and allow root intrusion. But it's very, very common. And a little bit of shingle grit and stuff mixed in. Due to some storm or floor drain getting in there. It's not causing an issue though. This is 6-inch clay from the base of this all the way out to the main. So it will handle a lot of water. So far the line's looking really good. Oh, wait a minute. Well, we got a hole here. Right in the side of the pipe. So, I'm going to actually try to jump this real quick. I'm going to shove the camera past it. Make sure I can get past it. But at 45 feet, we're going to remember that there is a hole in the pipe. So on the way back, I will mark it. There's an offset here, 51. Let's see if I can get the camera to go over it. There we go. So we'll have to mark those spots. That offset, may want to have it evaluated, just due to the fact that it's heavy enough to where it may catch toilet paper, but I don't think it'll be a problem. The weird part is that this is, we may have just dropped into the end of the main. This is at the very end of the street. And so, this may be the main. It looks like a larger pipe. This looks bigger than 6-inch. So I'm going to actually pause the video here and I'm going to get a locate and see where I am, if I'm still in the lateral or if I've made it into the high end of the main. Okay, it looks like we are still on the property. It's like an awfully large. Looks like it's a lot bigger than 6-inch. It looks like it's at least an 8. But continue to push. See, there's some mud there. I may have to run some water and see if I can get past this point. I'm not sure what this is. There's definitely some mud, which is probably getting in at that hole. There's a sinkhole that I saw, the beginning of a sinkhole in the front yard. It's probably right around where that probably right around where that hole in the line was at about 45 feet. So I'm going to try to run some water here, but it may be just as far as I can get. May need a cleaning at the least, and then we'll mark that spot at 45 feet where the hole is. Because that will need to be repaired, and I think it's beginning to cause a sinkhole above it in the yard. They've drawn in the dirt. And then this is apparently where all the dirt is ending up. So we're going to run the water for a second. See how it goes. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to just run for a second. Okay. So we're going to run the water for a while. I'm not sure that the water's making it all the way down with that hole there, 45 feet. We're hoping it at least gets down far enough to rinse the camera head off. But it doesn't look like it. So I'm going to have to pick it up against this and then mark it just to kind of show that that's as far as I can get. So I will mark it. I want to make sure it's laying flat, so I have to make sure I pull it back a little bit. I'm going to mark this as a cannot proceed, and then we'll pull back. And if I can't see anything at that 45-foot mark, I'll pull back through here. We'll go back through and we'll get a mark. Make sure that the mark is accurate as to where that hole in the line is. Alright, this is about 7 foot deep to the invert. I don't know if I put that on there earlier, but the other one was about 6 foot deep to the invert at the hole. And so we're going to go ahead and pull back, but all 3 of these spots are marked. This being the least biggest issue, but if they're going to have to dig up that, if they're going to have to dig this up at about 45 feet, if they're going to have to dig it up to repair this spot here, they may as well go ahead and go on down to that next section. The hole's probably going to have to be big enough to see it anyway. So yeah, you can see it is at least filling up and overtaking it and getting some water down the pipe, but a lot of that is leaching out into the ground. So 46 feet and about 67 feet. And 49 feet was the offset. Back up here. And there we are. So, this was, we were unable to fully complete the inspection due to damage to the line and mud in the line. And so, this will have to be, again, at about 46 feet, you have a hole in the bottom of the pipe. At about 49 feet, there's a pretty large offset from the ground shifting, which probably should be, it's about a medium offset, but could catch, could definitely catch some solids and debris in that spot. But if you're going to have to dig up to repair the other spot, I would go ahead and go to that offset and eliminate that offset. And then you have at 67 feet, there's a bunch of mud in the line, and with a new, it looks like it's running, it is located, and it's located in the sidewalk about 6 foot deep to the invert, so it's about 5.5 feet to the top of the pipe. And it's right underneath the new telephone pole, excuse me. So that, being right underneath that telephone pole, it may have been damaged when that was installed. This place has been vacant for a while. It is a rehab. So I don't know how long it's been vacant, but the line may not have been used in a long enough time that this is the, that they may not know that it was damaged. So I'm going to recommend that you contact the Metropolitan Sewer District of Cincinnati and refer this to them to let them know that to check on this from the main and see if they can diagnose the damage from the other end and possibly repair it, because it is in the right of way, almost, you know, it's in the sidewalk where it's stopped, which means the damage could be right there at the curb underneath the new telephone pole. If nothing else, it could come from just the installation shifting the ground and breaking the line. So, but yeah, the rest of the line looks good, but I have a few repairs to be made, and then I also would recommend a follow-up inspection when the repairs are finished, just to ensure that everything is good structurally and that we can make it all the way out to the main from there on. So that'll end the inspection at 3351 Hewitt Crescent Street in Cincinnati, Ohio.